What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit podcast with some good friends, great drinks, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. Hey guys, so welcome back to Bourbon and BS. Today's episode is part 2 of Bourbon and Life After Service. If you haven't checked out part 1, it was a lot of fun. The boys were hilarious. We had to make it a 2-parter. It was so much fun. And honestly, it was great getting to know them and what they did before, after, and during service. So if you like what we are doing here, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out our Patreon where you can get exclusive reels, exclusive content, and some behind the scenes. So make sure you check that out. Let's hop right back in. All right, guys, so we are back. So first pour of the day, because everything else has been a mixed cocktail. We've had 2 of the baby's first bourbon. JC thought it was going to be soft, and now he is slurring a lot. And Peter's going through third puberty by the end of this episode. So today's pour of the day is from Horse Soldier Bourbon. JC. So this is a veteran owned and founded by retired U.S. Army Green Berets who were part of the first Special Forces unit deployed to Afghanistan after 9/11. The inspiration of this pour, or this bourbon itself, the name comes from these soldiers' use of horses in rugged Afghan terrain, earning them the Horse Soldiers mantra. This was founded and established in 2015 by American Freedom Distillery, originally based in St. Petersburg, Florida, because Florida only knows how to drink and shoot stuff, with plans for a new distillery in Somerset, Kentucky. So this one boasts a lot of like little unique things because one of the things I don't always love when someone says is like non-GMO, blah, blah, cool. When you talk about corn and spirits and the mash bills, yeah, this is kind of important. So they use non-GMO all-American grain mash bill, all-American, because you have to say it like that nowadays, 2025. America, the Gulf of America, shut up. Offers straight bourbon, small batch, and barrel strength expressions. Aged in new charred American oak, traditionally with any bourbons. And one of the really cool things about this, outside of them having all the accolades and everything they do, their actual signature steel stamp is made from that imprint is made from steel forged from 9/11's Twin Towers. They used that metal and actually made a forge for the Horse Soldier. JC's fucked me up. Actually, like template. The distillery's expansion should be coming up soon. So hell of excited for that. So like I said, the bottles are pressed in molds made from the steel recovered from the World Trade Center. Fucking really super unique story. Sick. And it's highly award-winning whiskey. Their guys are super cool. They've actually done some bottle signings and etchings. Just real quick, some of the prestigious spirits competitions that they've won. There are 5 notable awards. 2022 San Francisco's World Spirit Competition achieved double gold, which for anyone who doesn't know what double gold is, that's really fucking high up. The next highest up is platinum, which means you could do no wrong. From here on out, you're fucking perfection. So they're right there. 2019's New York International Spirit Competition, which means it's better than most competitions because they don't really get bought. A lot of these industries will buy their own awards. It's like saying Roberto's favorite whiskey cocktail competition, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he just keeps giving it to his homie. Right. This is actually a legit cocktail competition, spirits competition. 2019 International Wine and Spirits. 2018 San Francisco World Spirits, they won gold medal, and 2018 New York Worldwide and Spirits Competition earned double gold. Just for those whiskey nerds who are out there, Horse Soldier is one of our favorite brands that we have here at the show, and it just felt fitting for you guys. But we won't get there yet because we had some requests for whiskey sours. So we're going to start with JC. He had his little whiskey sour. Well, we'll have to talk shit about Roberto long enough, so I have to go to you.
I've been abused, man. I'm like, what? I'm like a whipped dog.
So I made him a traditional whiskey sour with egg whites and everything like that. And he said he has no allergy, so if I am not at fault and my insurance won't be charged. How do you like it?
It's delicious. Yeah, whiskey sour is normally my go-to drink, and
really,
and I've never had one like this. This is very good.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thanks to my lovely boss Rosanna, because she got the egg whites ready for me because I'm like Frankenstein and don't know how to fucking go through fucking articulate nice things. So she got me the egg whites because you would have ended up with a fucking scrambled egg in your.
Hey, you want this shit over easy or
over medium and shit? Here you go. You take this and add protein. Shut up. Take the drink. God damn it. You're the Marine. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. We're going to pour up so the next whiskey pour. 127. Next whiskey pour in a moment, but hopefully you guys enjoy this because it seems like we've been. Oh well, Roberto's done. So I guess we got his approval, even though he has none of his friends' approval. What's this we're writing on?
He has friends.
I thought we were here. All right, so we're gonna go brief rundown of like any interesting or unique stories you guys had when serving. I know we talked about pit viper venom and random shit like that, and Roberto just fighting for his life for everyone trying to fight him, and JC just not making it to many rides because of height disparities. JC, any interesting or cool stories from your time serving?
Oh man, you're kind of putting me on the spot.
Not really. I sent you these questions.
That's how you got the questions.
I didn't read them.
You sent us the questions yesterday.
I didn't read them.
You gonna read them?
I'm going to yield my time to.
Yield my time.
Okay. Wow. Congress, man, let's go.
Yeah, to the other gentleman on the panel.
All right. I'm going to go to Peter.
Go to Peter. Yeah, Peter first.
And one unique story or something fun that stood out.
Fun. Okay.
Whatever you want. About your time serving, because we talked about what got you into it, and we talked about the motivation to stay.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone was looking for kind of purpose and direction, and Roberto was looking for people to like him.
He's still looking.
He didn't know people didn't like him. I feel like this was. He didn't care. How about this? He didn't care.
Oh, he knew. He didn't care.
Yeah, man. I don't even think my wife likes me, honestly. I mean, I'm still trying to convince her.
They almost peed on her.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Let's see. So I'll give you this. I'll give you an impactful story. How about that? Like something that, I mean, I know we're all joking around and everything, but I think this speaks towards what certain veterans go through from time to time, when they're serving. So I was deployed in Iraq. This is sometime in the summer of 2007. So my job initially was cryogenics. So I used to make liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen for the Marine Corps, and they used to use it for the liquid oxygen was used for oxygen for the pilots to breathe on the helos and everything else. And the nitrogen was used for tires and missile systems and things like that. So that's what I used to do. So when this particular day in Iraq, we were doing inspections of different squadrons in the flight line. And we were sitting there and I'm sitting there next to what's called a NAN cart, a nitrogen cart. This has 6 tanks of nitrogen, gaseous nitrogen that's used for refilling air tires. And out of nowhere, this young Marine comes around the corner. We're inside this hangar. And he comes around the corner yelling and screaming and raising hell, hey, we need help. We need help. He's going to kill us, blah, 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 whatever. So we're kind of confused. It's just me, my supervisor, which was a gunny, and then the rep for that squadron, the representative for that squadron. And they come around the corner, they're screaming, we're going to, we need help. He's going to kill us, whatever. So my gunny and I, we start running towards this guy, and he leads us to a different hangar. And when we get to that hangar, we're sitting there, and there's Marines corralling this individual. He was a Caucasian male, had glasses on, probably in his mid 40s, but his camouflage blouse was inside out, and he had this huge 8 to 10 inch knife on his waist. And as he's speaking English with a very, very heavy accent, a very Arabic accent. So it sounded like he was Arabic primarily. So the entire time we get there, and my gunny, he's got his pistol, I have my rifle, and we're sitting there. We're not pointing it at him, but we're ready, and we're telling him, hey, we're confused at first, and we kind of look at each other what the fuck's going on? And he keeps talking, so we tell him, hey, just get down, quiet down. Because there's other Marines around him, and they have wrenches and knives and whatever, because they didn't have any weapons on them at the time. So we're confused. Why the fuck don't you have weapons, first of all? And this guy, he opened his blouse and went inside his blouse, his hand. He put his hand inside his blouse, almost trying to get something. And immediately we pointed the guns at him. And you know, those of us that have fired weapons before, like, you know, like you squeeze and there's a hair trigger, like, you know exactly when it's going to go off. You just know, and you're right before it. So we're sitting here and we're looking at this guy and he's going his shirt and we're squeezing the trigger. We're just waiting for this guy to pull out something and we were ready to shoot him. And he runs. He takes off running, goes to a different hangar, and we're chasing him around this compound. And all the while we're wondering what the fuck is going on. There's nobody else here. And it's just my gunny and I chasing this motherfucker around. And we get to this corner and we corner the guy. And he's telling us, oh, my friends, whatever. Like, it's okay. And I'm sitting there pointing my fucking my M16 at this guy. And out of nowhere, some special forces guys come around and they surround us. But I look around and they have no magazines in their weapons. Zero. And I look around, I'm like, what the fuck? I look at my gunny, what the fuck? I was a corporal, so I was an E4 right at the time. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on, gunny? And he goes talk to someone else, comes back, and he grabs the muzzle of my M16, puts it down, and he's like, it's a fucking drill. And I was like, I almost killed this motherfucker. He turned out to be a master sergeant. He had 2 daughters and a wife, and I about shot him in the fucking face. So one of the most impactful times of my deployment was not the insurgency that was going on.
Yeah.
It was almost killing a Marine. Jeez. All because someone failed to communicate that there was a drill happening at the fucking squadron while we were inspecting the squadron.
That's insane.
And that is fucking frightening.
It is very frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck? Was there like any accountability for anyone after that?
No, of course not. So we ended up going to see the commander. And the commander for our unit, he was super pissed. And then the commander for that unit was super pissed. And then they talked to each other, they yelled at each other, and then they told us, hey, you could go home because you almost killed a Marine. But you know what? Keep fucking working. So we stayed and we kept working. And that's it. So it literally went from like, I almost killed this guy to like standing in front of the commander, getting yelled at, to going back to our shop, to then just like go back to work.
Why did you get yelled at?
We got yelled at because the guy, the master sergeant, he was like, well, you shouldn't have been pointing your weapon at me in the first place. And I was like, motherfucker, you had a knife, you were speaking in tongue or whatever. You were white, but that doesn't mean shit half the time, right? At the very least, like, you never know where someone's from. And we chased you and you didn't listen and you saw we were loading and you still didn't freaking call it out. You still didn't say this is drill. And it just kind of went away. So I'm assuming that because the communication lines were broken and someone is at fault at that point, then to not cause any more shit to come up in the air, they ended up just sweeping under the rug. And to me, that was very impactful because it kind of just I almost killed a fellow Marine, right? So when it comes to you deploying and doing missions or whatever, like, that's one thing. But like when it's someone like these guys, Roberto, nobody fucking likes him, but it's okay. I would never point a weapon at him. I wouldn't point a weapon at him and shoot him, right?
Also, you have to aim much lower.
So when that happens,
it's just like, I don't need to jump in. But go on.
No. When that happens, it's just it takes
hurt me harder, Daddy.
It's very impactful because like I could have killed someone that was like my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Friend.
Friend. No, we're brothers. Like in the Marine Corps, like it's one thing to distinguish. And I think that's very different than the other services. Like we go through all this shit that we go through together. We're not friends. I've known JC for a long time. I've known Roberto only for a few years, but we're not friends. We're brothers because we all went through the same shit. And in the Marine Corps, the real
bond.
The bond comes from the fact that we're all broken down to the bare bones of who we are and then rebuilt to be a better person. And we all go through the same shit, no matter what job you are. So for me, we're all brothers. We're not friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. So who wants to follow that up?
I mean, I'll go ahead since, JC's over here,
but before we, but I don't really keep fucking with you, but thank you for sharing that because that's a fucking scary and deep moment. And I do want to thank you before I talk shit about Roberto.
Yeah, no, and talk shit about Roberto all day. I mean, it's just,
I welcome it.
I find that to be one of the most impactful stories that on my time in.
Yeah.
Even though,
you.
It did. It changed my perspective. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, and
I don't get it. That's the problem. That kind of a
no, it changed my perspective because like you have to look at what's in front of you. And for me, after I got out, become an entrepreneur and everything else, like, you know, you have to sit there and analyze the situation in fractions of a second sometimes in the battlefield and everything else. And that translates so easily when you're an entrepreneur. But sometimes it doesn't. And it's good to remember the situations that trained you to sit there and analyze things, because we all sit here sometimes and go through things in life that we feel frozen for. Like we don't know what decisions to make, what to make of it, what to do next, and so on and so forth. And then you think back of the moments that we were all in the military, all three of us over here. And we know that we were put in the spot so many times and we had to make a decision at that moment. And we didn't have the choice to say, hey, I'm going to take a step back, take a week, go back and think about it.
Yeah.
And I think that we lose sight of that. And those are the things that help us be successful today, is the ability to sit there and take a step back and be able to make hard decisions, because no matter what decisions we're making, no decision is as hard as deciding whether or not to pull this trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
shit.
No, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. I was in situations where I legitimately thought my life was going to end, but I can look back on them and laugh because it turned out to be something very similar to what you're discussing, right? Some kind of drill or something that was harmless, but you're trained to be on such high alert and to look for things that seem like an imminent threat, you know? And yeah, I mean, I sympathize with exactly what you're talking about, you know, and it sort of conditions you to be able to make these sort of quick decisions.
Yeah. That
That is very unique to our experience, to what we've been through.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you gentlemen both sharing that. Like I you know, we're friends. I was really tempted to make a short joke. But I think that's
Do it.
Do it. It's about Roberto. It's about Roberto.
Yeah.
No, when you said like your life was in danger, it was like getting off the toilet doesn't count. Like I don't understand. Like,
Listen, that's enough thing.
Barstool.
your Barstool.
Hey, listen,
Get a
back in
squatty
the
potty. But I
defect.
really do. I do want to give Roberto the time because I halfway jokingly interrupt you, but I do think that it's crazy though, like to go through these drills, and as a civilian, 100%, as an outside perspective, I would never ever equate any of the, like to understanding that, right, to knowing that, hey, this was almost a botched situation that was supposed to be meant like never in my I equate it to, as a citizen, a civilian, I've had fire drills. I've never set fire to someone almost by mistake.
Yeah.
I replicate that in real life.
Yeah.
I can't say, oh my God, it's a fake drill. I know that there's not a fire.
Yeah.
In this situation, you wouldn't have known that this wasn't a real threat unless it was communicated to you in advance.
Yeah.
There's nothing in real life that I could say, oh my God, we were just playing and testing.
Yeah.
That's not a thing I could do.
Yeah. So to elaborate more, like when I was in Iraq, we were part of what's called a QRF, Quick Reaction Force, which were basically the reinforcements for anybody that's in trouble out, you know, in combat.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many times when we ran drills, but they never told us it was a drill until, you know, so they wake us up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You got to rush to the helicopter, get all your gear together, get off the helicopter. And it's not until after you're off the helicopter that they tell you, okay, this was just an exercise, you know, so you're going into it thinking you're about to get shot at.
Right? I guess that's the point, right?
Yeah,
Right,
that's
correct.
absolutely the point.
Correct.
But
Yes, and I'll say, not to interrupt you, but if you knew it was a drill, and I guess I thought about I think about this after the fact, right? At the moment, it was just very chaotic, and it was very, like, it fucked me up, because this is legit a person that I knew, well, I knew after, but like I knew had kids, right?
Yeah.
So, and to me, it really fucked me up, but if you didn't, if you knew it was a drill, would you put forth the effort?
absolutely not.
Right.
No. Yeah.
And I guess that's the point, right?
Exactly.
Correct. Right.
That's absolutely the point.
here-
but we so often discredit those drills. But for us, it's not a drill at the time, right? It's the real deal, and you are preparing
For
to
the
die
real
in
deal.
that moment,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And
I got a question. I don't know if this is a comfortable question. Let's say you did know the dude and you didn't know if it was a drill. Would you feel like that would pull you back a little bit, or would you still follow suit?
If you knew him but didn't know it was a drill.
Yeah. Is that almost like, would you shoot? Would you react accordingly? Is that, I guess that's also what it's testing, right?
I guess it's also kind of like dependent on the situation.
Yeah,
right?
given
But I
his
guess
scenario, that'd be hard to believe, I guess, if he knew him.
But that's
ahead of time.
I guess that's the point. If you didn't know it was a drill and you think this person might have gone off the rails.
So,
and this is a much deeper philosophical question that I don't necessarily have the time training or to be able to ask this fairly. I guess what I'm trying to get at is if you thought this was a real situation where someone you knew, but it wasn't a friend, it wasn't Roberto, which at some point became a friend.
Even if it was Roberto,
it might have been easier.
A person
Fuck that guy
that you have seen in passing every day, and at some point is acting erratic, and is going to be positioned in a manner where he is shown as a risk.
Yeah.
Would you react accordingly, or would you feel like inertly, because I know them, I'm going to pull back?
So I think, I mean, if I can, I mean, I think everybody's got a kind of an opinion about this, but I will say that like the federal government at large, whether you're in the military or civilian, right? There's a lot of training about insider threats, right? And so there is training that's afforded to military and civilian, like federal service employees at large.
Shouts to JC for giving me a job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, man, they're afforded like that opportunity to train about people who might be compromised, who are originally supposed to be people that are on your side, right? And I genuinely think that it's hard to answer that question without having to be in that situation.
Yeah, I know it's unfair. I think it's an unfair question to ask, like, without being in the moment, because you might react a little bit different. I'm completely aware of that.
Sure.
So I'll answer that a little bit differently. So, would I have shot him is basically what it comes down to. Essentially,
give or take, would you have hesitated more?
I would have shot him non-lethal.
Fair.
Yeah. So you can shoot a person non-lethal. I know, right? He'll remember it for the rest of his fucking life.
You gotta give me the old.
Please hold. What did you say, JC?
You would have shot him in the dick.
I want you to know that I raised his game.
Sometimes for these people, you gotta give them the old dick twist.
Listen, one of the things.
Twist his dick.
There's a meme. There's a meme slash tweet. It's like, rip my dick and twist it. God damn, this is an MMA fight. Twist his dick off.
Twist his dick. Oh man. Oh shit.
Someone who has listened to the more like genuine nice teacher episodes is like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah, we are not representing the U.S. military.
We're not.
We are.
No, we are.
Yeah, it's an accurate difference.
It's raw and real.
Yeah.
No one is saying that you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
The real position of the United States Marine Corps is twist his dick. Twist his dick.
When in doubt,
twist the dick.
You gotta give him the old dick twist.
So
wait. Bourbon and Bullshit is brought to you by Turkey Dick Reconstructive Surgery Outlets.com. It's an outlet. It's a bargain. It's like Magic Mall
you can't pass up a deal.
You can't pass up a deal. Enter coupon code Bourbon and BS for your 20% off your first dick reconstruction surgery. Your first one. Because, sometimes you want to go back in there. Fix some things. You don't want to lean left like JC. He walks funny.
That's right.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad how great this is.
I feel like this is only funny for us, and everybody's going to hate this episode.
I'm going to shoot this guy non-lethal. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Right.
Shoot him in the dick.
Shoot him in the dick.
I wouldn't shoot him in the dick, but I would shoot them.
If I knew the person, personality-wise.
If I knew the person. So I'm one that believes.
I'm going to use Roberto, but you don't like him, so.
Yeah. He would spare Roberto's life.
I believe that Roberto, JC, Arthur, myself, I think everybody has the capability and ability to be good and bad, even good and evil.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe that even if I know a person, and I've known people, everybody on this table has known somebody that has turned out to be a dick or a bitch or whatever. Right. They've turned out to be a different person than you ever thought they were. And I believe that can happen at the drop of a dime based on the person's circumstances. So
That's
to
fair.
answer your question, if I knew them and they were doing that, would I shoot them, or what action would I take?
It's much more like, would you hesitate?
Right. What action would I take? I would hesitate slightly just to figure out where am I going to shoot him to not kill him. But I would still shoot the fuck out of him.
Not the dick.
Not the dick.
Don't bleed out.
Shoulder. They'll remember me forever for the shoulder. Knee. Whatever.
To be fair,
yeah.
I feel like if you shot me like in the arm and it was a drill, I want you to sign my cask.
At a minimum.
That's a dick move afterwards. Like, hey, come here. I shot you. Let me sign this shit.
No, I want you to sign it and
Autograph
say like, basically like, I'm going to Venmo you this much.
So I mean, it's a hard question, man.
It is a hard question.
I'll just decide it's a really hard question. That's why I was
because there's so much more that goes into it besides just is he really a bad guy? Right. Like, it's like, how much of a bad person, right? Like, is this guy like,
how much do you know him? How much
how well do you know
like on
him?
a scale from 0 to Roberto, how terrible is he?
Well,
he's at 10?
My God,
Oh, yeah.
seriously. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is my best friend right here talking. I just want to reiterate
I feel like you were in each other's weddings.
to Roberto's point, I mean, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying. You shoot them. I personally would still shoot them non-lethal because you never know if, for example, like his family is compromised.
Yeah.
Right. You never know that.
Yeah.
So, and you never know if he's acting in a way to potentially save someone he cares about.
Yeah.
And yes, you see this shit in movies, but that happens in real fucking life.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like that movie fucking shit and all that is grounded in some form of reality.
I mean, at the end of the day, it just really depends on like what's the situation. You know what I mean?
Correct,
this guy's in a position to like take out a group of fucking Marines.
Well, I was using that exact scenario.
Yeah.
But that dude that he didn't know would be someone that you did know.
Yeah.
And I guess that obviously it's just a thought.
Such
it's a thought.
hard.
It's a thought experiment. It's never anything like I don't know this for sure.
Right.
And I can never ever put myself in a position where I think about that. But I think that I would agree with Peter where I would go for a non-lethal because I have that rapport.
Sure.
But then I don't know.
This
is completely hypothetical because I'm not in your frame of mind and I've never been in your situation. But then I think about if that non-lethal could still lead to those people losing their lives.
Right.
How much of a
exactly
should I have taken that lethal? And I'm not willing to live with that.
And that's the point, right? I think it comes down to like the thought experiment itself is flawed by not defining exactly the situation. Because if it comes down to like this guy's,
if you knew, it wouldn't be real.
But it's not flawed because what if you don't know?
What I mean is like if it's obvious
in his scenario, in his scenario, know what he's reaching for.
Yeah, right. He could be reaching for a gun. He could be reaching for a fucking ID, right? You don't know. So in these situations, it's like it's very dependent.
So I'm laughing because the question was, "What's a fun story?"
Oh wait, you said it was fun.
What's a fun story from the military?
I gave him options
because I'm like, we're having so much fun with all these hypothetical shootings.
I gave him options, and I'm gonna lower your volumes because yeah, motherfuckers, I told you one rule: stop talking.
I'm sorry.
Hey, part of the joke is I have to fuck with you. I told, for everyone listening in, I told all three of them, I know you're going to be excited. Don't talk over each other. This is the first fucking thing they did. JC, what did you do?
Do you want a fun
My
story?
apologies.
No. Tell the class what you did.
I talked over everybody.
Every time these guys fuck up, it's just more of a redemption for me, right? It's more of a redemption.
Roberto's taking everything like a win.
I'm just like, you see, I'm not the asshole here. It's these motherfuckers.
He just feels like George Bush stutter.
www. I let them defeat themselves.
That's a fucked up joke. Why did I make that?
I let them defeat themselves.
Why did I do that? So I can't hang out with y'all. Y'all ruining me.
Man.
All this to say,
these are such fun stories.
Story.
You had your time.
I have my impactful.
You had your
impactful. Give him a fun one.
Let me. Can I finish?
Let him give us a fun one.
We'll get back to you.
Can I finish? No. 10.
You said impactful.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yes. So
when I time it, you know I have a thing.
That's fine.
I want to hear it.
Cut me off. Cut me the fuck off. So for me, what came from that is that the act of communication and inclusion in terms of what your vision is for that particular thing you're doing is very so important for your tribe, because your tribe can help you or fuck you up. That moment, our tribe at that unit fucked us up and almost got a Marine killed. But if you communicate with yourself and you're true to yourself and your tribe on what you're trying to accomplish, they will only support you in that accomplishment as opposed to fuck you up and hold you back, right? So that's what I got from it. So it's just a matter of going for what you need to, do what you need to do, but at the same time, make sure you're communicating effectively to be able to get the mission accomplished as opposed to have some fuck up later.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you in part by Coach John Estrada of Run BMT Training, longtime supporter of the show and an absolute beast on the pavement. And for the record, this man just crushed the LA Marathon. And if you're looking to level up your running game, John's the coach to get you there. That's John with no H. Trust me, he's going to correct you. Whether you're training for your first 5K or tackling a full marathon, Run BMT, the coach is there, and John will have you running smarter, faster, and injury-free. So if you need expert coaching, hit up John at blackmattertraining.com and tell him I sent you. Now, he might not give you a discount, but he will make you a better runner. Again, that's John at blackmattertraining.com. Now let's get back to it. Thanks, guys.
So, yeah.
I don't know the military, obviously. Like I said, I just hang out and drink shit and then invite you guys to drink with me. But I think that's beautiful because I think there's a certain aspect of life in there. Like even just in general with your friends, like you understand now, hey, we will never do this again. We will never fuck up this communication again. We will never do this again. This is not some shit we could tolerate. And it's growing pain. Period.
I mean, it could cost someone's life.
Yeah, but yeah.
Maybe not exactly, but in theory.
In theory. It could break down in general.
Correct.
I think that was just a learning, and obviously, thank God it went well. The person did not end up losing their life. It could have been Roberto.
So if I can add to that, because he mentioned like multiple times, he said the word tribe, and that reminded me of a story on my workup to Iraq. But before we actually deployed, there was this female Marine who hooked up with pretty much
Why did you laugh so hard?
Listen,
because it's a known thing.
Because he said tribe. Listen,
it's a known thing. It happens.
She was Native American, and we used to call her the Navajo.
Wow.
I am not prepared for this.
Wait, didn't
he said
say
tribe?
All jokes aside,
it reminded me of the Navajo.
All of you shut up. All of you shut the fuck up for like 2 seconds. I knew for a fact that having 3 ex-military motherfuckers on my episode would be a problem to edit.
It was never going to work out, bro.
It was
never going to work out.
Just scrap it.
It was never going to be PC. And all you motherfuckers drink too much. I was like, I'm going to run out of alcohol. And I'm going to get canceled. And you called her a Navajo. Which is technically accurate to the situation.
He said tribe, and it reminded me.
Oh my God.
I didn't do it. I'm just saying half the unit.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people who said that I was the bad guy. I just want to reiterate this. These people hated me when they met me. I'm a good guy.
I want to remind everyone that Bourbon Nation is a completely inclusive and diverse podcast. Fuck you, Elon. DE&I is completely part of our show, so I apologize in advance for the Navajo jokes. JC, go ahead.
No, that was it.
No, you can't just
bring nothing further to add. She was the Navajo.
That was it. That's the story.
That's it. That's the story. He said tribe. It reminded me. That was it.
That's your most funny and impactful story?
No. I just wanted to add.
I want you now to go on and tell me.
I don't have anything.
You don't have
I didn't have any fun.
No fun.
You
just observed the Navajo in the background. It's like, that seems like
I was just a witness.
Not a participant.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Arthur, let's go ahead and I got you, brother. Let's go.
Wait, I want to make sure because JC, you've minimally talked. I know
I've
that
got nothing.
I know it's a height thing, so there's only so much short shit you got inside. But you sure?
I'm good.
You don't have another story?
Nope.
Okay. Navajo is a fucking fantastic soundbite. So that's a thing.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take.
I'm gonna silence everyone else.
Look, I'm gonna take an opportunity here, and I'm gonna.
How much you like me?
Yeah, I love you, Arthur. You're the man. All right, no, but to Peter's point, right? I think ultimately at the end of the day, what you can take away from that story is that the Marine Corps as much as it might be loved and adored and hyped up, it's not infallible, right? The Marine Corps as an organization is an idea, but people have to implement those ideas. And so they're not infallible, right? And so in his story, we could see how people might have fucked up this idea of being prepared as a Marine Corps, as a Marine rather. And they could fuck up that situation, right? Leading to potentially the death of a fellow Marine. In my situation, I'm gonna take it a different way, right? This is a lack of preparation that I'm gonna talk about, right? A lack of preparing Marines for the situation that they're about to encounter.
Do I need another drink before this?
No, I think it'll be all
I'm
right.
so fucking
We're gonna be good.
bored.
We're gonna be good. All right.
All right.
Stick with me here.
I'm always here with you.
So
I'm doing what likes you.
I'm deployed in Iraq, right? And I'm in the middle of the fucking desert. That's where we're at. My unit is stationed. I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating when I say it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. So we have watches around what's called a COP, a company operating post. It's just all it is a little base that your unit is in charge of maintaining, securing, keeping in safe conditions. So of course, with that comes a security, right? Like around the exterior. And that means that 24 hours a day, there's Marines that are going to be stationed at post to make sure that they're watching outward to make sure that nothing comes in, right? No, nothing approaches us that might present a danger to us. So that's my situation, right? I'm deployed to Iraq. I'm in the middle of the desert. I'm securing this position in the middle of the desert that has otherwise nothing surrounding it. I don't know why this particular post was of importance, but it is what it is. So we're in the middle of the desert, and I bring that point up because there's no infrastructure around us. There's no buildings. There's no toilets. There's no there's no buildings at all. The entire post is nothing but tents that are set up to like facilitate a command post, a sleeping quarter, a medical unit for if that's needed. So we have this post in the middle of the desert. We're securing it 24 hours a day. And to use the restrooms, we have these facilities that are built up for us that essentially they're nothing but like outhouses. So it's like a little wooden shack where you can go take a shit. Now, you can't take a shit in the middle of the desert without plumbing, without some kind of system to take care of sanitary situations, right? So the solution to that is what are called wag bags, right? And I think if you've ever been deployed, you understand what a wag bag is. You know what it is. Essentially, it's a little packet that's given to you every time you have to go take a shit, where you're given this packet that has inside of it a Ziploc bag and a Winn-Dixie bag or a Walmart bag, right? Like a plastic bag. The idea is that you lay the Walmart bag.
Kitty litter in the bottom of
it. Yeah. There's like this powder inside of this bigger bag to dry up the shit. Right.
Or the pee.
And you're supposed to take these bags and then you throw them into like a burn pit. The problem with Marines, right? This supersedes just the wag bag situation. This is like food or any kind of like items that you have.
Why am I scared?
I don't know. Yeah, you should be scared.
Probably should be scared. Yeah.
This is a huge buildup.
This is the bunny right here.
Oh, I mean, I'm just trying to like present the story here.
I got straight to the Navajo story.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's taking too long.
Go ahead.
My bad. I'll try to.
It's about the foreplay, JC.
Hey, foreplay is very important.
Okay.
It warms it up.
My apologies.
The guy who had no story is telling me that my story is shit. All right. So anyways.
You sure he's your best friend?
Yeah, this is
fucking hate
my
this
best
guy.
friend. Anyways, so these wag bags are for you to like piss and shit in, and like they're designed for you to put over like this toilet on an outhouse. It's not like a plumbing system. So the problem with Marines is they always go through shit and they always take stuff to make their situation better. If it's food, they'll take the food that's best for them and they'll leave whatever they don't want for the next guy. With the wag bags,
are you calling Marines selfish?
Oh yeah,
No, there's an acronym. STEAL.
Oh yeah.
Strategically take equipment to an alternate location.
Exactly. Right. For short, we call it rat fucking.
Yeah.
That's shorter than steal?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how syllables work.
I don't know. But like in Marine Corps lifestyle, if you rat fuck an MRE, you take what you want from it and you leave whatever you don't want. If you rat fuck a group or a allotment,
a flaming gorilla titty
of wag bags, you're taking all the stuff that you want from it and you're leaving whatever is like not needed necessarily.
The kitty litter.
I didn't want anything from a wag bag. But
well, there's toilet paper, there's additional bags. So that's all the backstory. My group, my unit, we get deployed to this unit that's in the middle, or this station that's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's in the middle of the desert, and we all got to use wag bags. This is our first time deploying for a lot of us, right? So most of us take these wag bags, and it's our first time using it. Again, the original packet is supposed to bring a large garbage bag that you place over the toilet, and then a small, like I would equate it to like a sandwich bag, right? Like a little sandwich Ziploc bag. Well, I have a buddy who, for the first time, was about to take a shit in the fucking desert, and he takes out a wag bag that, unbeknownst to him, was rat fucked. It had been gone through by previous units. And so when he pulls it out to take his first shit in the middle of the desert, all he finds is this little tiny Ziploc bag. And he goes into the room where he thinks he's supposed to put the large bag, but all he has is this little tiny Ziploc bag. And so he's looking at this, trying to figure out the logistics of taking a shit inside of a fucking Ziploc bag. And so he's looking at this toilet. Yeah, it's a snack size. I'm telling you, it's a sandwich-sized Ziploc bag. And so now let me clarify. There are these outhouses, right? There are these toilet
homemade
rooms.
BLT sandwich bag sized.
Yeah, that's it.
Poop bag.
Exactly. And but he's inside of this like room that has like these little like wooden built out toilet seats. And so the idea is that no, man, you place the wag bag material over the seat that's there. It's made out of wood. You shit inside of it. You piss in it. But again, this is his first time and he has nothing more than a Ziploc fucking sandwich bag.
I will say, if nothing, Marines are marksmen. No, we will adapt and overcome every single time, right? Okay.
But this guy is like, okay, I guess I gotta shit into this Ziploc bag. So he's sitting over a Ziploc bag, stretching it to the best of his abilities. And I will remind the audience that this goes back to the situation that Peter was talking about where the Marine Corps just doesn't really do a great job of communicating, right? And so no one told this guy that, hey, wag bags are your way of life.
Wait, are you saying the government doesn't communicate?
No, I mean, sometimes we fall a little short, even in the Marine Corps.
Hold on.
Even in the Marine Corps. I know. And it's a shock to everybody. So he's sitting here squatting over this wooden toilet seat with a fucking Ziploc bag that's designed for a sandwich. Right now, I'll let me clarify. The idea is that you place the shopping bag, right, like the bigger, larger shopping bag over the toilet seat. You take a crap.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
And then you tie it up and put it inside the Ziploc bag. But when you're first time taking a shit in the desert, you don't see a Walmart-sized, plastic bag, and all you see is a Ziploc sandwich bag.
Did he make it?
Oh, bro, he was like, I guess I gotta scoop my balls back into it and like stretch the bag.
And you're canceled.
And this is my very good buddy's first experience in crapping in the desert.
There were a lot of things I expected out of this episode.
I know, man. This was not one of them.
Not Ziploc bags and getting shit. A Glad Ziploc bag sponsorship was not on the list.
Yeah.
Thank you for making sure I didn't get that.
Man,
yeah.
I'm making sure.
I want to clarify when he says my very good buddy, he's not talking about me.
This whole time
that is not me
you
at all.
Like one of those toilet seats when you're teaching a kid how to poop.
Yeah,
that's what I imagine if you were.
I knew that's the idea. A wag bag.
So that's the idea, right? Is that you take this larger bag and place it over the seat, and you sit down and you take a normal crap otherwise. But in this situation, that larger bag
Did he come back to you and be like, "Hey, this was a mess"?
He's like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. It was so much confusion in this guy's life. Like,
JC,
you know,
not for podcasting, but JC's out here showing like, "Oh, look, I got a bag full of poop." Audio podcasting is terrible, but it was really common.
I mean, it goes back to the expectation versus the reality, right? Like, the expectation is that you have this larger bag to place over the seat.
Okay, all jokes aside, I mean, kind of jokes. We can keep joking because this is what I feel like the rest of this fucking episode is going to be like. I mean, what? Was there ever a moment with all of this shouts the great value Walmart bags and glad is not a sponsor, or miscommunications? Was there ever a moment where you guys like sat back and like, shit, should I have done this? Or was there the opposite flip for each individual? You decide whether you want to answer it, not too long, but was there a moment where you're like, I'm glad I signed up? And I'm going to start with JC because he had the shortest story and legs.
He had no story.
Yeah, no story.
He had no story.
I said,
so
he caveated off of other stories.
Navajo. What? I said the thing he said. What? I'm not the problem here.
So to that point, I don't think there was ever a time where I regretted it, where I said like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. But I definitely didn't have the calling that like Roberto spoke of or Peter spoke of, you know. Like I wasn't that guy that was the stereotypical Marine and wanted to deploy and be in combat or anything like that. But once I was in the situation, it was probably one of the best times of my life.
You made it sound like you had a secret life somewhere. I have to talk to somebody about something. This man ain't who he says he is.
No. So I enjoyed every moment of it, but it just, I don't know. I wasn't built the same way as the typical Marine, I guess. Right. I enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps, but
I mean, but so to give credit to that, at some point, once you left the Marines, you ended up in the role that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. So there was never a moment where you regretted it, but it turned into something that basically gave you, I wouldn't say like purpose, but
yeah.
So would you say purpose?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely guided me in a lot of good directions.
Try to give you more to speak on because you just here over here just talking about Navajos.
I'm just enjoying their stories.
Yeah. But so did you think that individually when you went through it, you're like, I got to do what I got to do. I'm trying to find purpose. And at some point there was a moment, like a light bulb moment. It was like, I know what I want.
No, I don't think even at this point, I don't think I've ever had that light bulb moment. Right. But it definitely just gave me a foundation, right. Of core values that I stick to in my life in general.
That's
and
so
I think
important
that's,
to like
and
highlight.
I think that's what I needed. But there wasn't any specific light bulb, you know, like Roberto had his 9/11 story and sort of like that calling that he felt. I never had any of that.
Yeah, but even outside of the military, like I'm like, I guess what I'm getting at is, was there a moment where you realized, I'm glad I did this because this is what it set me up for?
Yeah, that Navajo. No, I'm just kidding.
I know your wife.
I'm just
wouldn't
kidding.
make that joke.
I'm just kidding.
She knows how to get rid of bodies. There's like
I'm just kidding.
Whole information circuit. You don't need to be saying that.
No, I'm joking.
She's gonna stab you.
No, I mean I enjoyed
in
every
the divorce,
moment.
I have a friend, and that's her. I'm picking her.
I enjoyed every moment I was in the Marine Corps. But it just wasn't the same experience as like what they described for me.
And that's kind of, I guess the spirit of the question is, after when you got out is when you had that moment, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because at that point I had my kids, and that sort of became the main focus of my life.
And it almost became like your origin story of your happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So there was never a moment, and I'm glad. I'm not looking for that. I don't want you guys thinking it's a loaded question where I'm looking for hey, I hated the fact that I did this. It's a genuine curiosity of, because I've had friends and family members that have joined the military and been part of that system, and they either found their calling or they found just more questions, and it became something that either defined them or broke them. And I have people who lose their wife or husband after the military. And I had friends who ended up ending up in Okinawa, Japan, and starting a whole fucking family out there. And he's like, I'm never moving back. Fuck the States. This is me now. This is me now.
No, but it kind of speaks to like what these guys were talking about before, that there's sort of a place for everybody in the Marine Corps. At least, we can speak to the Marine Corps. Yeah. And there's a place for everybody, right? Like Peter is sort of like the stereotypical Marine, right? Like he's that tough guy, the just what you think of when you think of Marine Corps. But there's a place. Twice. What are you talking about? There's a place for guys like me too, who just are looking for a little bit of discipline, a little bit of structure, and sort of a path forward, that aren't necessarily living and breathing everything Marine Corps, right?
There's a happy medium.
I don't know if that's yeah. There's a happy medium. I loved every moment of it. I enjoyed the people I worked with, but it wasn't my entire
identity.
Yeah.
And to each their own, right? Whether it became their identity or not, is still a lot of value that's added to that experience.
Absolutely.
And I think you could, we all respect that. No one at the table, whatever. Obviously, I'm not one of you guys. I'm just going to hang out and drink with you guys and get you drunk. But I think that there's a lot to be said about those experiences and unique pathways that ended up in that. So I think I respect you guys. And I do want to thank you guys for your service. Even if most of you can't get on roller coasters.
Hey, I'm good. These two,
I don't know. On Splash Mountain all goddamn.
Yeah. These two.
Just get on Roberto's shoulders.
Just looking at John.
We put on a big trench coat.
We wear a long trench coat.
Like 5'9", both stacked on top of each other.
To this day, PG-13 movies is the limit. Because you're like, where's your parent? all jokes, but I think I do want to give you guys credit for, at least from my show. I don't understand I don't know if anyone else. I assume so, but I do want to thank you guys for your service and the experiences and what you've gone through. There's scary moments. There's I'm really fighting the temptation to say the scary moment was getting off the bar stool for Roberto. I said it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's out there. Yeah.
No, man. I'll say this, man. The Marine Corps, even for me. Yeah. So I think the unique from my story was that I knew I wanted to be a Marine from a very young age,
which is commendable too, because there's so many people who will sit here and say, I want to be an artist. And in 6 months later, it's like, I want to be an Instagram influencer. Sure. And 6 months later, I want to take up carpentry. 6 months later, you decided 2 years early because
I'm talking about since
2 years prior to you joining.
Let's call it 13 because I was in middle school at the time.
Yeah. We talked. Sorry, I apologize. I remember because he said you were 2 years younger.
Right. I'll call it 13. I mean, no later than 13, I knew I wanted to be a Marine. Right, so. That's 4 years earlier than I'm legally allowed to enlist. Yeah,
there are motherfuckers who don't even want to be friends with the same people after 6 years.
Right. So even at 13 years old, knowing I wanted to be a fucking Marine for this long in my life, at the time that I showed up at boot camp, there was nothing better for me in my life than being where I'm at right now because I'm accomplishing my dream. I had so many times, so many moments where I can specifically recall thinking what the fuck did I do? What decision did I make in my life where I'm at right now? And there are a ton of moments throughout my entire career where I'm thinking that, right? I mean, I knew, like I said, from 13, and I apologize. But I knew at 13 I wanted to be a fucking Marine, right? I knew that's what I wanted to do. And here I am in the moment. And I'm like,
motherfucker,
what the fuck am I doing? I get it.
I all jokes aside, I want to give you a hard time about the table thing, but I don't care.
No, man.
No, I really don't care. I can fix it. Whatever.
But I'll say this. I never regretted. I'll say this, man. I never regretted joining the Marine Corps. Yeah, but there were certainly times where I was like, God damn, what the fuck is this? What am I doing? What decision did I make in my life? Because I thought I knew what I was getting into, and it's certainly not what I thought it was. Yeah. And that is, I would be hard pressed to believe that there's any Marine that never had a moment like that, right?
Like, you definitely didn't sign up for all the cleaning you'd have to do,
right?
Like all the sweeping and mopping.
It's never in the video.
I mean,
that's never in the recruitment video.
Like, bro, I thought I was gonna have a big ass sword and take care of a fucking dragon. Like, I thought that was what the Marine Corps was gonna ask of me. And any Marine who's ever seen a fucking Marine Corps recruiting video knows exactly what I'm talking about. But when it comes down to like brass taxes, you know what I mean? Like, you're being yelled at because you didn't fucking wipe down a toilet seat well enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's a part of the Marine Corps experience that every Marine knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I have a lot of friends who went to the other armed services and they were similar stories.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, you join,
you're gonna do this and this, and I took this test so I can do this. And
motherfucker, you're gonna go out and you're gonna take out fucking Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden. And it turns out like your biggest failure in life is that you didn't like wipe down a windowsill of every piece of dust on it. But that is the Marine Corps and that is the military in general, I would say. And like, you know, parallels. But that is the Marine Corps experience, is that like you're going to do a lot of smaller things that contribute to a much larger aspect of things. And when you don't accomplish that to the standard, and even when you do accomplish it to the standard, it's never good enough, right? Like it's a lot like my wife, actually. Like, you know, you could do everything right, but the one thing that you don't do wrong is going to be the thing that sticks out.
The one thing you don't do wrong.
Exactly. Like, that's what's going to be
don't
highlighted.
Don't you double negative on this show.
You're going to be like, what the fuck, man? And so that's not what you signed up for, right? You signed up for marriage.
She's going to listen after this.
I'm sorry. You signed up for the Marine Corps for all the things that you expect to do, but the things that you don't expect to do that you do fucked up. You know, that's what that like highlights a big part of your Marine Corps experience. And you know what, man? Like, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Regret is the basis of the question. Do you regret, or do you ever have doubts about what you asked? No, I don't.
To be fair, my question was there a moment either you regretted or you said, this is exactly where I should be?
Right.
So reaffirmed your choice or regret. So I wanted either positive or negative.
Well, I'll say this, man.
I do find it interesting that all three of you heard me say regret, not the other part.
Well, because like joining the Marine Corps in and of itself is accomplishing exactly what you signed up for.
But there's a moment where I think I don't know specifically, but I imagine there's a moment where to JC's, he found a path where it reaffirms, I'm glad I made the decision.
I don't think any Marine who's ever gone through Marine Corps boot camp and received their Eagle Globe and Anchor and became a Marine officially will ever tell you that it's not exactly what they were looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
That moment in and of itself.
That's a substance in itself.
That moment, so early in your Marine Corps career, like we're talking about your first 3 months inside the Marine Corps, that is exactly what you were hoping to accomplish.
And I wanted you to tell me that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that.
No,
as an outsider, I don't know that that's the moment.
I will tell you right now that every Marine who's ever received their Eagle Globe and Anchor, that moment will...
Can you pronounce the complete thing? Because there's a lot of mumbling.
Eagle Globe and Anchor.
I didn't hear globe. I was like, Eagle
Globe
and
Anchor. I'm a little drunk.
That's what I'm not judging this.
I got you, man. Yeah. But I will tell you right now, that moment that they receive that Eagle Globe and Anchor,
all right, perfect,
that they become a United States Marine officially, they will never forget or regret or like think that is a top 3 moment in their life. And I will I say top 3 because like maybe having a kid.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. But you know, I genuinely believe that is a top 3 moment in your life that you become a Marine official and you receive your Eagle Globe and Anchor. Right.
I'm glad you shared that because
I didn't know. As an outsider, I don't know that. 1000%. That is a proud moment in my life that I'll never forget.
I want to completely address that I'm coming from this as an outside perspective. And I at that moment that you guys shared, I'm ignorant to.
Yeah.
Like, I love that all 3 of you are like, yep.
Nope, they know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. So they know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone listening at home
did not see this, but they all nodded, yep, that's exactly the moment.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers highlight that.
Yeah, and that's so
as
early.
An outsider, like I understand that to you guys it might seem like this is exactly what the fuck I wanted. I don't know that.
Yeah, bro. And that's so early on. And I'll highlight that's so early on in your Marine Corps career. That is 3 months in. That is like graduating boot camp.
It's very important.
It's so impactful.
So let's highlight that. Like, I think from an outside perspective, and I want to give all the love to that moment as well, because if it that early on, there's never a fucking job in my life that 3 months in I was like, I made the right choice.
No, bro, there's nothing better than that moment in my life, bro.
Like, it's fucking
bro,
highlight that.
like I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now.
And I don't mean to be a dick. Like, I hope I'm not coming off like a difficult person. I was like, let's highlight that.
No,
like,
it's one of those things that's like not known unless you know. If you know, you know, right? That is a moment that I'll never forget. That I'll never like not cherish, man. That moment means everything to me.
That's so fucking important, because if you and I think that this is just me spitballing because we're here right now in the moment. I've been drinking a little bit. If it had happened much later, that's not less rewarding, but much more likely to feel like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this.
Nah, man. Yeah.
And the fact that it happens early on and you feel reaffirmed and this is what I was hoping for, this is what I wanted.
It's part of the indoctrination of the Marine Corps, right?
It's fucking fantastic to highlight early on.
Yeah.
And I will credit to anyone who's going through a moment in their life. You're going through it, so you don't identify all the things that someone else would highlight. You guys went through it. You don't understand that for someone on the outside looking in, I fucking wish in 3 months into my new job career path for the rest of my life, I knew that this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen for everyone.
No, not at all.
At all. There's a month.
And it's so much more than just
that out there like, I want to be a writer for the rest of my life. Hey, I fucking wrote a book in first 3 months. I don't know if I should keep doing this. They still don't feel confident in it. In the first 3 months, you three have all collectively agreed.
And it's crazy, bro, because it's more than just knowing like what your specific
what you're hoping for.
Well, it's more than just knowing what your specific job is going to be. It's just nothing more than I am now a Marine and I belong to this group.
And to put into perspective, like we're talking, you're 17 or 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
You're just figuring out life, but yet you have this thing that is now your lifelong identity.
Yeah,
right?
You're a Marine for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I don't think you guys give yourself enough, like, I guess, credit for that, and don't understand that from an outsider. You understand it as normal every day.
Yeah,
it's the same as if you try to tell someone, "Hey, every day, all day, I'm an athlete. I'm a football player.
Yeah,
I know exactly what I'm going through. Everyone around me knows what I'm going through. For your normal is not my normal."
Exactly.
And so what your normal was when you signed up and what your goal was is not my normal.
Yeah.
So and I know it sounds, for you who don't know me out loud, I'm Dominican. This is how I talk. I'm not aggressive or anything, but there's a certain level of respect that you guys don't understand that at least I give. I don't speak for everyone out there. You decided what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Either was it because you were looking for purpose. Roberto was looking for something that can give him a height advantage and for people to like him. No, he knew what he wanted 4 years earlier. And Peter was looking at, found a way to kind of go down a pathway, break the cycle, go a pathway that was going to give him a little bit more structure and everything he wanted. I don't mean to overspeak, obviously, Peter. I hope that you don't disagree with my interpretation of it. He's giving me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not here to tell anyone how the fuck they feel.
Yeah.
But I think that's fucking phenomenal that in the first 3 months, you said, I was right.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier about the work ethic. And it's like we identify each other very quickly. You know somebody who's been through that versus somebody who's never been through that kind of thing, you know.
And that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
A lot of baby back bitches running out there, but I do want to do one thing for you guys. Roberto doesn't get it because he wants to go pee.
Yep.
Now that I remember, this is much longer than it needs to be, so you guys are gonna get standing ovations.
Nice.
Roberto doesn't hear this.
He didn't wash his hands.
Did you wash your hands?
No.
Wait, he didn't wash his hands, did he?
Nope.
I did.
Hold on.
Probably not.
Oh, gross.
That's piss, actually.
This is much. How long is this?
God damn.
I think there's 2 seconds left. What is going on? All right, enough of that. All right, for Roberto. Twice. Wash your goddamn hands.
Twice.
If we can, real quick.
Yeah.
It's past midnight, so it's officially Roberto's birthday.
Ah, goddamn! I don't have a happy birthday thing set up. You didn't tell me.
No, it's okay. People don't like me, remember? So just fuck me and.
Wait. This doesn't work, but I'm gonna use it anyway.
Worst day of the.
I got family.
It's a Vin Diesel figure here.
That works.
That works.
It's just a reminder. I think a general reminder that people don't like me. It would just be a good.
That's it. Nobody gives a shit about your birthday.
The theme is a happy birthday, bro.
It's your birthday, God. It's the worst fucking year, day of the year. Yeah.
That's fucking January 6th. November 6th.
No, January 6th is also pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, you're right. All right, fuck Elon. Listen, before we head out, because we are 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I would love to fucking
Let's do 2 more.
I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I got that kind of time, but Rosetta's in sleep, and I don't want to keep waking her up by you yelling. You fucking tiny little angry voice.
Wow.
I gotta fuck with him. I'm out.
Wow.
No, I
Notice
gotta
you
fuck.
started with tiny.
To be fair, I adore you.
That's fair.
Kind of like, my daughter adores her Barbie doll.
Exactly.
No. Anyone who knows me, if I don't like you, I don't fuck with you. I leave you the fuck alone. I treat you as a void in a room. If I fuck with you, I genuinely enjoy you. If I interact and ask you questions, I genuinely enjoy you. If I go, okay, that's nice, and I move on, yeah, don't talk to me ever again. If anyone's at home listening to this and wondering why I've been really, really cordial with you and never talked to you again, please subscribe to our Patreon because I need. All jokes aside, I ask everyone a couple questions before they go. Whether you are specific rank, range, like job, occupation, anything. I'd like to ask. This is kind of off the riff. You guys were not expecting this question. Okay.
7 inches.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
How I wasn't asking how close you were to be able to get on a ride. I was asking. It's a different question.
Okay,
JC.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What kind of lifts are you wearing?
7 inches.
7 is like, I can't wear heels.
She can't.
This is bullshit. I like to ask people like the deathbed cocktail and deathbed drinks, but or meals, but we're not going to do that. For you guys specifically, because you aren't in the industry of like service, like cocktails and whiskey and food service. Now current events and everything that's going on, like, do you ever, you're feeling the residual impact of it? I know JC, you and I talked privately about it. Like, how are you feeling with everything going on? And like, I know you ended up in a specific field. I don't know if you want to share and how that's overall impacting you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anxiety. So I'm a government worker, right? I'm a federal employee.
We're not going to talk about where.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. Just coming from the military, it's sort of natural to transition over to being a federal, civil service employee. So yeah, it's a stressful time. A lot of anxiety out there, but I'm doing all right.
You guys shifted from work from home to now in person, and you shared kind of an interesting perspective that I don't think people get. Which
ironically, I'm okay with. I'm actually enjoying being in the office every day. It doesn't bother me at all. I love my coworkers.
Why? Because I think that's like, I don't think people understand that unless you went from working from home to not. I think there's this whole fucking glorification of I get to work from home.
Yeah, and I do still feel that way. I enjoy the flexibility of being able to work from home, but by all means, I have no problem being in the office. I mean, I'm there to work and I'm there to do, my job, and I enjoy it. I enjoy my coworkers. It's not a negative thing for me at all. I mean, I'm a civil servant.
But you said that you were enjoying also, it forces you to be physically active.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to need you to be more detailed oriented. I'm going to ask your wife how often you express yourself, because I feel like
so like I said, I mean,
what do you mean by express yourself exactly? Like express,
like orange peel?
Express yourself?
No. The act of getting up in the morning, getting dressed, driving to work. Yeah, it's important. It's crucial to.
But you're still feeling that anxiety and you're feeling everything going on.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of crazy times out there, right? But we'll get through it. It's all right.
I love how PC he is.
You're right.
He's obviously like the even
I think you meant pussy.
I said pussy.
Pussy.
There's nothing wrong with that though. Like I the reason why I want to highlight it is because I think I know a lot of my friends. I work from home and in different contexts, obviously. I'm gonna tell you guys some random stories after off air. Because fucking people are stupid. And everyone glorifies this whole I work from home. I get to have all that work-life balance and blah, blah, blah. But there's a certain level of, if I don't have to leave my house, I really don't want to.
Yeah,
And
that's
I know
fair.
friends who have worked from home for like 3 years and they've gained like 60 pounds.
Yep.
Their
Yeah.
health is in
Yeah.
regression. They don't go out anywhere. They don't even know how to have human interactions. Like even asking them to go out is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And there is a certain level of, because I was forced to be social, I remained social. There's a part of me that worries that at some point I'm going to start hissing like a cat at people. Like, get away. Like, get away, because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I think we're in unfortunately, because of the times that we're in, because of the social media and technological phases that we are going through, that there's a social aspect of humanity that isn't there anymore unless you force it. When we go to school, we're forced to be in a classroom with people. When we at like school, we go to athletics and debate clubs and all these things. You're forced to be social with people. You go to college, you're forced to be social with people, and it builds this intrinsic like skill set that you don't get unless you're forced to be there.
Yeah.
And when you're an adult, you pick your tribe that's going to stick there, and you're never going to fucking be there with anyone else. When people talk about it's so hard to make friends later on in your life when you go from work from home to in person, like that dynamic's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shifting back. So did you feel like this is better for you?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, yeah, it is better for me. I mean, I'm being much more active at work. Like I mentioned to you off air, you know, like on my lunch breaks, we're doing walks around a park in downtown Orlando, being much more physically active. Whereas if I'm working home, I'm just sitting on the couch, right? So yeah, if I'm being honest, that's true. And you know, to your point about being sort of social and whatnot, if I weren't in the office, my only friend is Roberto, which we all hate, right? And he's like a terrible human being. So
Fuck you too. Then I thought we were friends.
I get to interact with other people and
Likeable people.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you all are like gauging from this that he's the problem, right? He doesn't have enough friends, and he's just a lazy piece of shit.
I feel like he basically said, I'm forced to be Roberto's friend because no one else likes me.
Yeah, he's the only one.
I'm the accepting one, right? For as much shit as they give me, I'm the one that's like accepting them for all their flaws.
Roberto's much more open-minded. But I like that you at least highlighted that. Roberto, what do you feel like now?
You know, a lot of it is narrative driven, in my opinion, right? So, like, bless you.
Jesus, I'm dying.
It's okay. A lot.
That was a long pause.
You know, I just want to make sure you were done.
I'm done.
No, a lot of it is narrative driven, right? So, like, you know, I too am a federal employee, and I think the idea that we were not being productive prior to the changes that have been, you know, touted in recent, you know, memory related to the change in administration is that we're not working and that we're not earning our pay and that we're, you know, robbing the American taxpayer of their free. That's all bullshit.
It's all Tesla.
That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. I'm not going to mince my words here. It's all motherfucking bullshit. Is there a benefit to working in person? Of course there is. Yeah. And I think most people would tell you that, yeah, you know, some face-to-face interaction is definitely beneficial to accomplishing different things that we want to accomplish as part of being the federal workforce.
Yeah.
But this idea that we were stealing money or that we were
That's ridiculous.
Right. Yes. we're fucking ridiculous. It's absolute garbage and it's unfounded.
If anything, I'm more productive at home.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Much
that.
more focused,
A lot of that is true. There's definitely much less distraction from working in a place where you're not being subjected to random drop-ins or random interactions of people, stupid questions. Exactly. Now, to that point, I will say that, you know, by and large, the return to office work is not an issue. It's not a big deal. It's, you know, okay, you want us to go to a place. Big fucking deal. I'll go do the exact same thing that I've been doing from home. I'll do it in an office if it makes you feel fucking better.
Yeah, it makes you feel good about that.
Yeah, if it makes you feel like you're getting your money's worth, no big deal, right? That's not a problem. And it's not a problem for most of us. But this idea that the federal government worker has been stealing people's, you know, taxpayer dollars, and that's where I have an issue. That's where I take personal offense because I busted my ass to get where I'm at. I did a 10-year Marine Corps career. I definitely made myself qualified to do the job that I do. And I have zero issue competing against a person that has not done everything that I have done to do the job that I do and to do it as well as I do. And I think most people will tell you that. And I think that's where I kind of take an issue, right? Is because there's this new narrative suddenly that the typical federal employee, including veterans who have given a lot to this nation, you know, to be what it is, that they're not earning their paychecks. That's bullshit 100%. And I will stand by that. I won't mince my words. I won't say that in any kind of politically correct way. It's absolute garbage. Yeah. Most of us, you know, and I say most of us as an overwhelming majority, have earned our position, have earned our pay, and continue to do so out of a sense of service to government, service to the nation, and pride in servicing like everything that this country is supposed to be standing up for. And so that's where I stand on it. You know,
I'm glad you shared that too.
Yeah, man.
No, if I could add to that, I would say, like, in general, everything he just said is accurate, but specifically Roberto is a piece of shit.
Yeah, no. I'm a garbage human.
I really,
I call that.
I want everybody to know
is
that.
that going to be the general consensus?
Yeah,
I just want to clarify for the record.
I am
shit.
garbage.
Okay.
To be 100% clear,
Wow.
These are my best friends, by the
do I
way.
have a sense
everybody knows.
when twice if you're in danger?
I just, you know,
I
this
love a good joke.
I'm not in danger. This is just the best I can do. This is the best I can do.
I
These
feel
are the
like your
best
standards
friends.
are low. This is the best you can do. So I
Is that a short joke?
no?
No, man.
Wow.
Look, I mean, if I
I
could be.
meant that like you are a good person.
No,
but
man.
yeah, I guess you're also a short person. Like,
bro, if I can be serious for a moment, I mean, like, dude, I am currently in college for engineering. Like, I am not a dumb person.
Yeah.
And most people that have followed my experience or that are relatable at all to me, they can say the same thing. They're not dumb people. They are smart. They have contributed to this nation in more ways than one. And to be like painted with this broad brush of not doing, you know, enough for this country to earn their spot is just garbage, man. And there's a lot of things that are going on that people can say can be done better, and I would agree with that. But nobody should be saying that this is that people in my position are stealing from the government or are not doing their fair share of the work. That shouldn't be given any kind of credence.
All right. So I don't want to go to the applause one because that takes forever, but correct. I agree with you. I think that it's important to understand because I don't disagree with you. I think to be completely fair, I'm not going to say where I work or what I do, blah, blah, but I feel that I know that a good amount of these organizations have paid into leases that they don't need and they fucked up and now they have to justify middle management salaries. They need to justify someone watching you at all times. And statistically, there are studies that have shown that a disproportionate amount of inefficiencies that they said were happening are not true.
Right.
Everyone's being more productive. As productive, if not more productive than they ever were inside of an office. There's a work-life balance. People are less likely to quit their jobs. So turnover is lower, which decreases costs. So now you're not going through all this TA stuff and you're not going through trying to headhunting. And you're not doing this because people are staying at the jobs because they have that balance. So overall, this makes a company more profitable.
Yeah, definitely.
But guess what? It doesn't take, and I'm not just for them, their goal is I need oversight. I need to see the person. I need to know that this person is not enjoying their life because I didn't enjoy my life. It's the same argument when people say like, oh, I don't want to forgive student loans because I had to pay for school.
Right.
That's a whole different other topic. We're not here for that.
No, let's get into it.
No, but I think that there's a whole like misery loves company or like I had to be watched. I couldn't have that work-life balance. I didn't have the interwebs. Shut up, Jacob. You can't open a PDF without fucking needing to try to in.
The same people who believe that are the ones that are having trouble with like adapting to the new norms.
I don't need 5 meetings to get ready for another meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not what we're doing. And it's almost justifying those middle management positions instead of letting those slide because we don't need those anymore because there's things in place to make sure that the productivity is there. we're not here for that. So I'm sure someone's going to clip that and make it seem like I'm fucking anti everything. I might be. So fuck you, Elon. I will always say fuck you, Elon, in every fucking moment I can.
Yeah.
I think that
I will join you and say fuck you, Elon.
Fuck you, Elon. And
I'm anti Roberto.
Anti Roberto.
Which makes him pro Elon by default.
We do not. Look, there's a lot of shit we'll tolerate on this show, but no pro Elon. No, everyone's entitled to their wrong opinions. My point is, I agree with you. I think that especially as government employees, yes, if you say on the outside, like looking in and not knowing the details, I want to reduce government spending that disproportionately doesn't make sense. Cool. Do it the right way.
Yeah.
But are you saying bringing people back into a building that's now overly populated and everyone's like,
or more importantly, firing people who are trying to get their career started in government service?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Or not hiring for positions that very much needed, or firing people that now are the only ones who had the keys to the park ranger stuff that people are now getting locked into bathrooms, or firing people without no understanding the like needs of their role
that they govern, nuclear systems.
Yeah. So all these things, it feels like, oh, you're dumb. But that's not what we're here for today.
No.
Yeah.
Because I could judge Doge and everyone till I'm blue in the face. But that's for sapper section.
Fuck Elon.
We're here to talk about
Navajos.
The Navajo.
Hashtag fuck Elon. But Navajo still. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think, especially seeing what you guys are going through, I apologize. I fixed it. But seeing what you guys are going through, I pulled the shit out of his headphones. Seeing what you guys are going through, especially JC personally, I know went from working from home, having a work-life balance, knowing that a couple of days of the week, it is genuinely kind of a shock. And immediately getting emails and getting all that shit that's like, hey, tell me your worth.
Yeah.
And then redacting and saying, I was just joking. That's not the kind of joke you want to make.
Yeah, exactly.
That's someone's livelihood in life.
Yeah.
And
So to that point, the last time we hung out, I was kind of down in the dumps, and I think you noticed because you were asking me.
I called you.
Are you okay?
I called you.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't call many people.
But to sort of tie this into the theme of the episode, like that's where that kind of Marine Corps resiliency comes in, right? Like I've been through far worse. We'll get through this, right? And so that's the mindset I'm trying to keep.
I want you to know how much your wife loves you. She texted me afterwards. She's like, "Thank you for calling him." I was like, "I did it for him."
Yeah.
Because I like it.
She called me too, by the way.
Oh,
and said that she doesn't like. Did she tell you that he doesn't like you?
Yeah. She told me she likes me.
That's really weird for me. That's like my kid sister. Stop it, Roberto. But I don't know. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to at least express that and discuss it, because I think it's a pretty big deal, and I think it's pretty normal to feel this sense of uncertainty and not necessarily be able to give in the space to speak to it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I have 18 years in government service, so it's kind of weird to be in this situation where potentially all of that could go away. So we're in kind of unprecedented times. Yeah,
like
for sure.
I'll be the person to tell that people don't know where I work, but where I used to work, I was in retail pharmacy. And one of the goals where everyone who worked in pharmacy was get a job in the government, because that felt secure.
Yep.
Your life and your future felt secure.
Yeah.
It became one of the goals. Like, hey, you made it because you're working for the government, because guess what's always going to be there? The government.
Yeah.
And when we start seeing roles that made sense, go like, hey, tell me your value. And it's like, bitch, I'm not a whore on a corner telling you how much shit I would do. How much strange I would do for some change.
I think that's
common
probably
Roberto out there.
You know, I think honestly, that's probably been the most surprising part of it, is to see how quickly a certain narrative has taken effect within a certain like demographic, to think that like suddenly all of us are the bad guys, right? Like
motherfuckers were heel spurs that avoided conflict.
Bro. Like I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to tell you, as a government employee, of course there is waste. Of course there is fraud. Of course there's shit.
$1,800 coffee machines don't make sense.
You know, exactly, right? But to think that suddenly I'm the bad guy, that I'm the and I make a very modest wage, and I'm not going to get into how much I make specifically.
He's the bad guy.
But to sit there and
his glass went up in price
100%. But to sit there and say that I'm the cause,
that's the exact percentage.
I'm the exact cause of your hardships, like that's just so unfounded, man. There's nothing to it, right? Like there is so much more evidence of other things, bigger things that create this issue where you're spending a lot of money on basic needs and goods, and you're spending a lot of money on your taxes. That's not because of me, man. That's because of a lot of other bullshit that's going on that you're just ignoring because I'm the easy guy to blame. And because I'm the one that's being told to you that I'm the one that should be blamed. And that's what I take issue with.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Especially for those of you at home who do not realize because of my name and my voice, I am Hispanic. So when I hear shit from the outside, from other perspective, I'm going to address this from a different perspective. When I hear immigrants are the problem or something like that, I'm like,
right,
bro, I'm not the problem. I was born here, but my mom's not the problem. She worked like 3 jobs and paid every single bit of bills and every single thing. And we never defunded or did anything wild. It's like, when I hear that, I'm like, the American dream was founded on this shit, this struggle, this hard work, everything that we were supposed to do. And I'm not trying to, and I hate to say I'm not getting political while I'm getting political. What I'm trying to get at is that I don't believe that there's enough empathy and understanding from different perspectives.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a narrative that you are seeing because it's easy to, it's back to judge a book by its cover. You hear this fucking title and you're like, this is exactly what this book is about.
Yep.
Motherfucker, read it. Understand that there's more depth there. There's more details. There's more factors. There's more things. And understanding that empathy and not being so enamored with this quick assessment of the situation based off of a 5-second interaction it's just frustrating to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And for you guys, especially when you hear, oh my God, government spending and all these, I hate when people say, oh, they're at home, so obviously they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Do you realize that I technically work 24/7?
Yeah, exactly.
Because guess what I have at home? My workspace. Guess what I don't have when I leave the office? My workspace. Do you not realize that this means that I'm basically 24/7 on call?
And I think that's like the beauty of this entire podcast, right? Is that you get to know people like on a personal level, and you get to see that they're not just these people that are trying to rip you off and trying to steal your money. We're just we're normal fucking people.
JC's trying to steal my money.
But we're normal people.
I mean, it also reveals like Roberto does nothing.
And
he's like a waste.
Every time.
He's
an absolute
waste of government funding.
I am the piece of, if you want to blame anybody, blame me. I am the cause of all issues in this country.
Everything.
I'm
gonna be so mad.
You multiple
I'm
times.
gonna be so mad if he goes into the private sector and somehow we go into like.
What do you mean private sector, bro? I'm selling all the secrets to China.
But if he goes into the whole TikTok sector, and just somehow America flourishes, I'm gonna be pissed because that means you were right. Hey, who doesn't work for the government anymore, Jason? JC, who doesn't work for the government? Oh, Roberto left. We are flourishing. We have flying cars, but waiting since back in the future.
Yeah. Roberto was the only thing holding us back.
I was holding us all back, man. It was me. It was me.
Anyone who's sitting around thinking like Luigi, don't you dare touch Roberto. Free my homie. Listen, we're going to close out because it is 2 hours and 48 minutes into this. And I normally don't give a timestamp because I do part 2 and all that shit. So, hey, guys, you got a little bit of mind your goddamn business. Don't pay attention to that. I'll delete this. Any closing words for everyone listening at home? I'm going to start with JC because, you know, you're the fucking glue that sticks all this together, even though you're like half of your entourage. JC, any closing,
No, I mean, the only thing I think I could say at this point is Roberto is the worst.
Bet.
Yeah.
I fucking love every single thing about it. Oh, fuck me. Pete, you took a little bit of a break. Any closing, anything you got for anybody?
I would say that be mindful of, so since this episode is mainly focused around vets and things like that, life after service and everything else, but I would say based on the different types of stories that the people heard here today, to be mindful of the fact that their veteran, whoever that is, their veteran could have any potential story that they heard here today and more. And to not judge that veteran immediately, you know, on their face based on how they act without knowing their backstory. Because that backstory can make such a huge difference in the way you interpret their actions that you could be doing that veteran a huge disservice by not asking.
I love that, man. I that's a very fair assessment. And I'll when I get there to my end, I think that there's a lot to be said about demonizing versus understanding and all that. And I think it's unfair because pictures are being painted in broad strokes and not everyone gets the full rendition of it. So
that's right.
I do want to appreciate that you gave your
Roberto's not so bad then.
Yeah,
fine.
no, wow. Let's not jump ahead. Relax. Okay.
Don't give him too much credit.
I know we've been drinking, but there's no need to cross these lines. All jokes aside, this episode, happy birthday, Roberto.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
That's
very
why
much.
I left you for last. I do want to wish you the happiest birthday possible.
Appreciate it.
I do appreciate everything and all your service. And I, for someone who has known you as long as I have, and we have been like acquaintances / friends, but whenever we interact, it's always been a pleasant experience. And you've always been a good dude, and I've never had a negative interaction with you. And I never met you in ROTC or whenever you were taller than me, like JC. And so I've never been angry at you, like whatever reasons. I'm not gonna get into it.
For the record, JC's like 4'11".
That means he is legally able to apply for a handicapped parking spot.
In the pants.
4'11" in the pants?
Yeah.
That's a problem. You should get checked. That's elephantitis in the penis. That's a problem, my friend. Do you need to talk to somebody? Right. But no, seriously, happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's why I left you for last. I do appreciate your service, and I do thank you for spending tonight with us.
Of course.
Obviously, I appreciate all of you, but you're still like fucking 27. I don't know how old you are. Fucking JC's immortal because he looks
old.
like a... God, we'll get you later. Thank you, man. Any closing words for you, Roberto?
No, man. I think to close out, I'll say that, veterans come from all walks of life and that we all have different stories, but very much we can be relatable to some extent, right? And so I think the best thing that anybody can do is to get to know a veteran. And I mean that in a very personal way. We're all different. We're all the same, but we all very much have different stories and origin stories. And that makes us part of the fabric of what this country is. And that's about it. You know what I mean? And so whatever our story is, whatever our current status is, whatever our past status has been, it just contributes to what makes this country what it is. And it's good for people to get to know what that means. So that's it. That's it for me.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Guys, you're all muted because I don't trust you to be not out of pocket at the end of this. Fuck, and especially you over there with the anger. No one's gonna know what pointed at. I do want to thank you all for being on the show, and I appreciate you taking the time. I know that we had to reschedule, and I appreciate still being flexible, understanding the perspective of where I'm at and the position that I'm in, where some things have to get pushed a little bit. So thank you guys for being on. Thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing intimate stories and Navajo stories, because I think that it really kind of paints this picture of the really broad perspective that you guys experiences that you also get, right? Different upbringings ended up in the same place, and now you guys are best of friends. 2 or 3. Roberto's not the one they like. For anyone listening at home, please make sure that you like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and honestly take a minute and get to know the person across the table from you, because that perspective and that point of view that they have might be grounded in something that you might not have visibility to or not understand. And take that minute and not just make a fucking face value assessment of the situation, because you don't know what the fuck they went through. And I say that for all love in the world. I mean, there's people that I 100% don't agree with, and but I still want to understand their perspective. Unless you're Elon, fuck you. But everyone else outside of him, I do like, subscribe. If you like what you're listening to, make sure that you are following on Patreon, because a lot of the stuff that you're hearing right now is only a fraction of what I'm actually posting online. These motherfuckers got really out of pocket. And, someone threw an elbow, and it was crazy. You don't want to talk about it. It's wild. So make sure you follow Bourbon _BS, because I'm not allowed to curse. And make sure that you are tuned in, share with your friends, 5-star review, And I promise you guys that a rebrand is coming, but we will stay true to who we are because fuck everyone else. Take care. Drive safe. Drink responsibly. Don't text your ex. Avoid Amazon one-click buy. All the mistakes that people make when they've been drinking. For those who have not heard the commercials, make sure the worst thing you do is wake up next to a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. Take care, guys. Ooh. Bye. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.